and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter. Peace.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
They known us too long to know that we don't negotiate with jinns. There's no negotiation with no jinn at all. Now, what we did is we brought you on for the people that still think that they can do what they want to do and think that they ain't gonna go to hell. What it said, all said and done, that there's no place called hell, all that. Yeah, we brought some people on. We're gonna bring some people on to tell you their experience of what hell is. Now, when I was a young boy coming up under the tutelage of my granddad, my mother's dad, Charles Washington, who was a pastor and a minister all his life. He went around the world preaching. Yeah, we the sons of the green light. Overstand that. This is serious business right here. Because before I tried to do this tape, Lucifer put an all-out attack on us. Right when he saw I was about to do it, he put an all-out attack. You hear what I'm telling you? And he worked through people Lucifer worked through people without them knowing it. He worked through people without them knowing it, bro. I'm telling you. And he used people that try to pull you into it. But it's like this. The devil don't want you to know that there's a real place that people go called hell for being what you term as a sinner. Bad guys. Bad guys really go to hell. There's really a place in the fourth dimension limbo where people go to give you an overall. I'm gonna play. I got so many witnesses I'm gonna bring on this topic. It's not even funny. But the thing is that religion, people think that because they reject religion, they think that, okay, ain't no hell because hell talks about religion. No, before religion, all the religious hell concepts come from the weighing of the heart ceremony. That's where all the concepts come from. We been told people about this, about your heart must be weighed. You must be on the green light to get up out of here. The green heart chakra. And if you don't, you'll get a block, you won't pass, and you'll go to what they call the fourth dimensional limbo. Now, it don't matter if you're atheist, if you Islamic, Muslim, whatever religion you are. If you ain't right, there's a place that you'll go where you get when you pass out of your physical vessel. I'm talking about immediately. Because after death comes judgment. Now you could click off. The demon's gonna click off because they know what's about to go down. Lou made an all-out attack on us before we get ready to do this tape. Old Lou. But he already know how we get down. We ain't scared of you, old Lou. Right? We plead the blood of Jesus. We ain't scared of old Lou. We got all the tools you can use. But we finna roll some clips. Don't get scared now. And we're gonna break some stuff down. But let's roll this clip of this man that say he went to hell.
Do you think these people are really making this up? Come on now.
The reason I called this album Back from the Dead is because I've been dead 4 times. Those are the times that I remember. I heard it was more than that. OD like 3 times. The last time I had a stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, and pneumonia in the same night. I died in the ambulance for like 30 seconds. Seemed like an eternity. But I saw a sign because I was dead, but I was in hell. I went to hell. People say hell is after the judgment day. I guarantee you that's a fucking lie. I went straight there. Do not pass go, do not collect, motherfucker. Straight to hell. You know what I'm saying? And, the demons were down there torturing me. There were certain hooks in my body. And they were ripping my skin apart. They were ripping my limbs off. And these hooks would turn to coils. And they would drill in my body. They would turn red hot. Like when you stick steel in fire. And they would take the hooks. And they would raise me up into this net hooks. And they would keep inserting my body. And then they would tear me. And then they would slam me down into this lava pit over and over again. And then it would switch up. Some more demons would come. The demons were fighting over me. And the other demons would take me. They would put me in this grinding machine. It was like a big wheel with all these spikes on it.
Like and follow for part 2.
Now, if you listen to every story that we're about to play, I want you to listen to the correlations of the same story that they give. They give different storyline, but listen to all the similarities that they give. Right? About they died and they went to hell. He said he went to straight to hell. Right? And this right here, this ain't just for Christians. Right? This for all walks of life, because all of you souls who volunteered to come here signed this contract to get up out of here. Your heart will be weighed. No matter if you want to call yourself a Christian, Jew, Muslim, whatever, atheist, it don't matter. None of that matters. Only thing that matters is your heart. What your heart say when it's put on that scale. I'm telling you, man. Right? So what we're about to play is, let's play a chick that says she saw Biggie in hell.
What were some other things that you saw that you remember?
I saw Biggie in hell. Yeah, I used to love Biggie Small. He used to have this song called "Give Me One More Chance," and I used to love the extended remix. Oh, I used to be in the club, boy. That was my jam. 2016, I was in Dakar, Senegal. And I saw this particular female on Facebook. I won't call her name, but I saw her on Facebook, and she was professing to be a child of God, but she was at the wax museum, and she was hugging this wax
Figure.
doll,
Yeah.
whatever it was. She was hugging this copy of Biggie, saying, this should have been my husband. I said, Lord, what in the world? This woman's supposed to be a child of God. You in there talking about this ungodly man supposed to be your husband? An hour later, Jesus Christ took me from that room into hell. Hear me now. Hear my words. With no dream, for some of y'all saying I'm having dreams. With no vision, I was physically out of my body in hell, standing beside Jesus Christ himself. There's this cave-like area, and it was pitch black. And there was these two, the demons was almost as, the demons was darker than the darkness. You didn't even know it was demons there until you saw the whites of their eyes. That's how you knew that they was creatures. And these demons had to be 13, 14, 15 feet tall. And they were standing in front of a jail cell. A jail cell in hell. A jail cell in hell. The bars went up and down, and they were dug into the top of this cave-like area and then dug into the bottom. And it was just a carved out area of a cave room. And there was nothing in this room, just carved out area. And Biggie was holding the bars, but he was on fire from the inside. He was burning from the inside. Like somebody put a bomb in his belly, he exploded. And I saw him, and I'm standing there looking at him. And I asked Jesus, I said, Jesus, why is this man here? And these are the words Jesus said verbatim, is written on record in heaven. This is what he told me. He said, this man, he ain't even call him his name. He said, this man told me he didn't need me. This man went to a fetish priest and got charms he carried around in his pocket to become famous. And he said, this man.
Wait, what did you say?
This man went to a fetish priest and got charms that he put in his pocket that he carried around to become famous. You don't know nothing about that? Oh, America, America. There are witch doctors who are given a semblance of power by demons, by Satan himself. And it's practiced a lot in Africa and other countries.
Yes.
It's not practiced as much here.
Yes.
But it's practiced a lot in Africa. Where there are real witch doctors. That's all they do 24/7, 365. They live in their little witch doctor huts or witch doctor tents. And they serve Satan. And they take these little charms. It could be an earring. It could be a piece of a rock. It could be a piece of a cloth. And they do incantations over this, over this charm. And they give it to the person. And demons follow that charm. And whatever that person asked of from that witch doctor, those demons make happen. That's it. That's what they do. And he believed he was a king. And Jesus said, but mostly it's because he told me he didn't need me. When Jesus finished speaking, them two demons, one demon told the other demon that he wasn't speaking in English. He was speaking this language I ain't never heard, but I knew what he was saying. He was saying, because he was pointing. They had staffs. They had poles. I don't know what's up with the staffs, but they had these staffs. And he was holding the staff with his right hand. He pointed. He said he was telling the other demon to get him out of that cell, and they're going to take him for more torment. So when they came out of the cell, fake king's robe appeared on him, fake crown. And they took him and put him in a juicer. Now, in the spirit realm, you have a permanent spirit body. In hell, you still feel like you have bones. You still feel like you have blood vessels. You still feel like you have the same organs you had here. What you do, you feel it. And he felt the pain of breaking bone, muscles and ligaments and tendons, his skull being cracked and smashed. He felt that. And then it was all on the floor in a big mush pile. And then his body just came back together. And then they put him back in his cell. And when they put him back in his cell and closed the door, he exploded on fire. Like somebody put a bomb inside his chest and he exploded, but his body didn't do nothing. He was just burning from the inside. Yes, he's in hell. He told Jesus he didn't need him. Acts chapter 4, verse 12 is very clear. John 3:16 is very clear. For God so loved his word that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth on him shall not perish, but shall have everlasting life. Biggie didn't want him. He didn't want to have nothing to do with him. He told him, just like Marilyn Monroe told Jesus, I don't need you. You know how many people die in their sins telling Jesus they don't need him? Because they're deceived.
Now let me get all this clear, because some of you people, y'all don't like Jesus. But don't fool yourself. Look, Jesus is real. I met him. I'm telling you, I met him. And he ain't no person or no, like he looked. I only got a chance to really see his feet though. And he was standing on my chest. But he looked like the sun, but like in a human form, but big, real huge. And it's really an energy. And it can come in any form. It can come in black, white, green. It can come in any person that when you in a time of need, they save your life. God is an energy. Listen to what I'm telling you. Jesus is an energy. It's an energy of love, divine love. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what Jesus do. When somebody riding down the road and they car flip over 10, 15 times, well, the people that stopped to help them to get out, Jesus made them stop and help them to get out of that car. That's what it really is. But also, this place, I'm telling you, man, this place is real. And we already got more tapes on this. This ain't the first time doing this. Like I say in the link in the descriptions, we got about 3-4 tapes on this already. We got a whole tape with Faise. We got a tape with Doc talking about it. Doc said that he died and came back, and he that's when he came out with the Life After Death book, I think. Shout out Bodie. And Bodie said that Doc came back saying Jesus is real. Dr. Malachi Z York. Right? But you have to meet Jesus for yourself to know that he's real. And he might look different to you, but how he looked to me, like I say, I only got a chance to see his shoes. And he had gold shoes that looked like the sun. You can't even look at his look. I couldn't even look up because it was too bright. But he was standing on my chest. It's an energy. An energy you got to get by to get to the next dimension. It's an energy you got to get by. That's why he said that iron door. This might sound like religion, but it's not. Read the Injil. I'm telling you, man. Let's now listen to the correlations that these people give about the descriptions that they give. Somebody just said in the crowd, "Oh, it's based on your belief." Look, it don't matter what you believe. Like I said, your heart got to be. If you think you can be a bad guy and you're gonna get away with it, you're gonna feel sorry and you're gonna wish you would listen to us when you get sent to this place. Some people make it out, right? Because these people made it back out. Some people come back, but some people don't. Some people down there for 2,000, 10,000, 100,000 years and ain't never came back. It's a place of limbo. All right, let's play this. Let's listen to this dude testimony.
All I liked was to party.
And we got another tape. We got another tape that's gonna verify what that lady just said about the demons going out with the charms, right? It's another dude. Matter of fact, let's play that one first, and then we'll come back to that guy right there. Let's play the one with the guy talking about how the demons use the charms.
They force people to fornicate with devils until their flesh falls off.
Hold on.
And then the flames start again.
You know, there's.
And let me just say one more thing about card reading. The tarot card readings work like this. They break the cards in three. They tell you to break into three piles: past, present, and future. That's what the witch does, right? So the witch tells you your past because now the witch don't know you. The first time she met you. That's the entrapment. Got it? That's the entrapment. Now the witch releases with a familiar spirit in her ear, telling you about your past. This familiar spirit that walked the earth and know your past. Right? And then they tell you, you had an abortion, you had this, you had that. You're like, oh my God, how she know these things? She don't even know me. She's gifted. She knows my, no, that's a setup. Now she got your mind. She got your thoughts. She got your mind. See? Now, she tell you, take the middle card deck. I'm going to tell you what's going on with your life now. Familiar spirits. Tell you what's going on with your life now. Oh, you know, you lost money. Your marriage is not doing well. She'll tell you all these things, right? Because they see what's going on. Monitoring spirits. Familiar spirits. They tell you, and now you captivated. Before she had your mind, now she's captivated you. You see, she captivated you. Because she's telling you things. They say, how she know these things about me? She don't know me. She just met me. She got entrapment, right? And then the third power is your future. Your third power is your future. So now she's going to tell you your future. The witch don't know her own future. She don't know what's going to happen 10 minutes from now to her. But she's going to tell you yours, right? So this is what she said. Well, I see a car accident happening. I see your husband cheating. I see these things happening, but I can stop it. If you do a ceremony, you do a cleansing, you do a ritual, we can stop it and we can protect your family. This is what she said, right? And then she said it's going to cost you $5,000 to do it. You go, oh my God, $5,000 is a lot of money. I don't know. Let me think about it. She said, you got 30 days to think about it. All hell is going to break loose in your home. So now you go with the fear and the worry with you. But now the demon that was talking to her goes home with you because you give him legal rights. So the demon that goes home with you is going to perform these things that you can't see, which you can't stop. So the demon is going to put a lust spirit on your husband, a perversion spirit, to break up your marriage. Now your marriage is on the brinks. You come back to the witch. You say, oh my God, everything you said, it happened. No, the demon did it. That's not knowing your future. The demon brought chaos to your house because you opened the demonic door to the demon to come to your house, to torment your house, to torment your marriage, to hurt your kids. Now these things happen. You think the witch should know the future. And then you give her your $5,000. Now you're desperate. You give her the $5,000, you're desperate. And she calls the demon back. And everything goes back to normal.
Wow.
See? They don't tell you that. You sit that witch in front of me right now. Watch me dismantle her in the spirit and expose her who she is.
Oof.
I did this for 25 years. I play this game with people. I send demons to your house to monitor you. I send demons to torment you. I send demons to put sickness on you. I put demons to put demonic dreams in you. I did this thing. I'm not proud. I'm not boasting because my stuff is under the blood. I'm not proud. I'm helping you. That the only person that knows your tomorrow is Jesus Christ. He's holding the pen of your story.
Now, these monitoring spirits you mentioned, are these demons or are these people astral projecting?
They're all demons monitoring you.
Yeah, so that guy there, he was a witch doctor who changed his life and started doing with the right guy with the green light. You know what I'm saying? And like this right here, but he verifies what the first lady said about certain incantations and certain things dealing with spiritual that spiritual energy. Right? Now let's listen to this guy. Now keep in mind as we go through these stories, my granddaddy told me a long time ago about hell, right? When I was a little boy. And he used to say, because I used to say, man, what is hell like? Because it seemed like nobody want to go there. He said, hell, and it's the first thing he used to start out with. He used to say, hell is 7 times hotter than the sun. And I thought about 7 times hotter than the sun, man. And I say, man, if this is 120 outside, people be already tripping like, oh, it's too hot. Maybe they just imagine if they turned it up to 200 or 220. That's hot. Now imagine how hot the sun is. Then 7 times hotter than the sun. Just imagine how hot that is. So my granddad said this when I was a little boy. This is before the internet, all it. The internet wasn't even out. We didn't even have cell phones then. They didn't even have pagers then. When my granddaddy was telling me this. I think they had. I want to tell you that because you might say, "Oh, y'all older than bud." I think they was just getting color TVs. My granddaddy didn't even own a TV though. He said the TV was a way, a vortex to let the devil into your house. That's what my granddad used to say, right? And he said that, and he did a lot of stuff that my granddaddy told me about hell is a lot of the same storylines that these people say is which why I downloaded these tapes so you can hear their story, and then you just be the judge, right? Like Tahiti say, you may want to cross all your T's and dot all your I's. I mean, what is it gonna hurt you to get down with righteousness? Well, the devil, he gonna do what he gonna do anyway. The jinns, they gonna be devils anyway. You just can't let them get you all out of your character, right? But let's play this right here.
All I liked was to party and women. That was it. How many women can I sleep with? And how much partying can I do? I was a teenager in the early 80s in Miami when the money was flowing. I didn't know who God was, and I used to tell him, God, I respect you. I know you're for real. Every time I ask you for a job, you give me one. But I like my women. I like South Beach. This is my home, South Beach. This is where I like to party. Leave me on this side, and you stay on that side. That was it. I like South Beach, I like partying, and I like my women. In the year 2000 is when I died of a heart attack. If you ever watched a movie called Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Deneen Moore, it was a thug-looking kind of guy with a fro, the Latin guy in Ghost. He got hit by a car. When he died, those little black moles came to get him in the movie. That is exactly what happened to me. Whoever did that movie knew exactly what they were talking about. Those little black moles came to get me. My body is dead on the floor. All I can remember is that they were grabbing my feet and they were bringing me down. There was many of them. While they were bringing me down, my body's on the floor. My spirit and soul is coming. I'm alive now. I'm awake. Now I have another body because I'm feeling pain. They were sticking their fingers in my eyes. They were sticking their fingers in my nose. They were biting my ear. They were gouging me. They were spitting on me. They were cursing me. I couldn't even cry. I was just being tortured. It was just so much pain. Nothing could come out. I was crying with inside. Never knew God. Never knew Jesus. I went to a place that had a drop-off point. And these big black gates started opening up. And what I mean the drop-off point is, imagine if you're on the second floor of a building and you look down, that's the drop-off point. All I could see, what I could see with my eyes, and as far as I couldn't see no more, it was like an ocean of people screaming and crying. And all I could hear is, get me out of here, please. Please get me out of here. I never knew what a pastor was. I never knew what a man of God was. That wasn't in my vocabulary. I didn't even know God. I just believed that God exists. So when these gates, which are the gates of hell, these things that were biting me and torturing me were going to push me into that pit. Before they could push me, I got to see a good minute, and I got to look down. Like I said, I never knew what a pastor was. But there was a whole section of them, and all I could hear them keep saying is, I'm sorry I took the money. I'm sorry I took the money. I'm sorry I took the money. Then I could just hear people screaming. I was more in pain of the torture that they were torturing me, but he let me see that pit. Right before they were about to throw me, I was getting right to the edge of the pit. I cried out, just like I used to cry out for a job. I cried out and I said, God, just kill me. I know I belong here, but don't let me suffer like those people. My cry to God was for him to kill me so I wouldn't suffer. Your spirit will never die. It will last forever. Infinity times infinity times infinity times infinity. I'm here on my knees telling you the truth, that there is a hell. I was tortured. When I cried out, God, just kill me. I belong here. That was my cry. Just don't let me suffer like those people down there. From the back, all that was coming forth was light. Light. Everything lit up. As the light lit up, then the people down there were screaming, please forgive me. Please, please forgive me. Please, please, I'm sorry I took the money.
Okay, so if you hear his story about, you know what I'm saying, about the people down there, you can hear the correlations on people screaming, the wielding and gashing the teeth, the lake of fire. Now listen to this. What hell is, if you want to get a better idea of it, like I just said this a minute ago, but imagine if you go to sleep and you ever had a nightmare that felt so real? Now, what if you never woke up out of that nightmare and you were stuck in that nightmare? And it was an endless torture or fear, and it got worse and worse and worse as the longer you stayed into that nightmare. Well, that is what that is hell. That's a form that is hell. I'm telling you, man. But it gets worse than that. Let's play another guy real quick.
When you in hell, there is no outdate. There is no time. There is nothing no schedule. There is none that's gone. You know you're there. And the worst part is, I knew I deserved to be there. That was the thing that really got me. I had no rebuttals for me not being there. Okay?
So you weren't crying for mercy, you weren't calling out to God, nothing like that?
No. And that's another thing. See, the people don't understand. The things that I was hearing, you had a lot of people calling out to God. You had a lot of people asking for 5 more minutes, 1 more chance. Please, I'm sorry. Let me make it up to you. Can hear everything. That's another thing I want to add. Remember I was talking about the 5 senses being heightened? You can hear everybody screaming at one time, but you can individualize every person. You can individualize every scream. You can individualize. But then I heard a lot of blasphemous things towards God. I heard a lot of anger, a lot of cursing God out. I heard a lot of big time. People were angry.
Only people were making sounds. The demons weren't making any sounds, or whatever those creatures were.
Demons, that was, I was going to get to that. When the demons were communicating with each other, they have their own language. And their whole language hurt my body every time they talked. Every time they talked.
So you never understood what they were saying?
Oh, yeah, you understand everything. I'm going to use the term, you overstand everything that they saying. What they was communicating back and forth, they were calling us stupid humans. When they were grabbing and torturing humans and doing all type of things, they were calling us stupid, and they were laughing. They laughed, they enjoy. Because what I found out and what I saw myself through my experience is that they get energy off our pain. They eat it. It's a form of food to them. It's like a drug to them. They get high off of it. That's why they're here on earth. They keep us depressed, angry, full of anxiety, because they're feeding off that. That's their food. They literally eat that. So they cause situations for you to feel that way so they can eat. They eat off that. And in hell, they have an abundance, nonstop supply of food, because all they do is torture. They say if your arm gets ripped off, your arm will grow right back. Rejuvenate. And it happens over and over and over again. Like I say, I saw tons of people there where they were ripping over their mouth and pouring hot lava down their throats. They'll melt and they'll come right back and they'll do it all over again. And then they'll invite other demons to come and get turned. Like I was also mentioning about promiscuous women who were there and men. But I saw my experience. I saw majority of what I saw were the women being raped by demons. This one lady was being raped and tortured so bad sexually that I'm not going to say it on here, but it's beyond horrible. But I'm talking about, it's and then some of the tortures are so bad. I still to this day I can smell a certain smell, especially matches. I don't like the smell of matches at all because it brings me back to that. It reminds me of that. Yeah, it does, like PTSD big time. I don't like that. But
your wife said you said something about I think it wasn't the last one I listened to actually. You said you saw pastors and people like that there. Could you explain?
Yes, you know what? And I saw, and a lot of them were still dressed in suits. Okay, there was like a cavern, like a cave, and a lot of them were just sitting there like they were waiting. Well, the demons would come in, especially the giant ones, and snatch them up and throw them in boxes. They were throwing these pastors in boxes. They had all types of stuff for them. They had all types of, like they had a field day with the pastors, the fake pastors. I'm going to be honest. A lot of them were just misusing their authority that God gave them. Okay. For one example, they threw this one pastor in a box, and it was an old nasty box, but the box was filled with hot coals in it. So when they throw them in it and they close it, you can hear, I mean, the screams are beyond, like you can feel it. you can feel it's just the anguish and the pain. And they were throwing these things in them. They were stabbing this. They were ripping people apart. They were eating people, especially the pastors. They had they had a real good time with them. They were enjoying, like, really. A lot of people who I saw were part of the church. Like I said, you can look at somebody in hell and know why they're there. There's no ifs, ands, about it. Like, if somebody was to look at me, they'll know why I was there.
The people that were in church, what were some of the sins that they did? Like,
I saw more gossipers in hell than anything from the church.
Wow.
Gossip, backstabbing, lust in the church, right? But the most of all was the gossiping, because people don't understand the power of gossip. They don't understand how powerful it is, how you can hurt somebody's life for just, you know what I mean? It was so many people down there for gossiping, you know. They smile in your face, but then, oh, look at Sister Clark, or look at brother so-and-so. But then you're in church praying with them instead of praying for them. See, when you talk about somebody's problem, you better have a solution. If not, it's gossip. Plain and simple. If you're going to talk about someone's problem, you better be willing to help that person. If not, don't talk about it and stay out of their business, because that's serious. God doesn't play with gossip. And I saw that firsthand. God does not play when it comes to gossip.
Now, for all you guys to say, oh, this religion and this belief, most of you guys, a lot of you guys come from either Islam, Christianity, or Judaism, the Hebrew classes, right? And this stuff goes way farther than religion. In fact, let's pull up this. Let me pull up my screen real quick and show you something about the Jesus thing and where they got it from. Since you think it's a game, because everybody think it's a game, but the people that watch, and they say, "Oh yeah, he is trying to scare us, so he trying to do this." Nah, man, you want to be scared now, because when you get there, I'm telling you, you won't be scared now, and change. If you a bad guy, if you a good guy, you don't got nothing to worry about. But you better make sure your heart. I'm telling you. But let me show you this. They like to chop us up. Hold on. We're pulling it up, y'all. But this is the concept of judgment and the going to hell, and your heart will be weighed. This is before before this is really what Christianity get it from. And if you know about the scales and the court of law, the Libra scales and the jury of 12 at the top, and the father Osiris sitting on a throne, and the four beasts that guard the throne right here. And this is the son of God, the son of Osiris, right here, taking the soul to the father, to be judged. And they're saying the only way to get to the father is through the son, he the door. And then they balancing your heart. So this concept is older than religion. So don't be talking about no religion. The religion took their concept from this. So you better wake up and don't be fooled by Lucifer and his gang. The hell really exists, and that's the ultimate destination he's trying to get all of us. I'm telling you, man. We'll come back to that folder. Let's run another. Now, keep in mind, my grandfather told me about the sulfur. Keep in mind the correlation where everybody gonna say they saw preachers there, the main guys. They smelled sulfur. The pitch black, dark, black, so you can't see in front of your eyes, but you can see the fire. You know, keep in mind, we're gonna run some more. Let's run another one.
See it. I'm just like, I can see it. I can feel it. Every time I'm talking about it, this is so real, you all, and it looks so chaotic. They have compartments for you. Specialty sins is what I coined it. Okay, we all have a wide spectrum of sins. We all sin on all different levels, but we all have one that sticks out in our personality. Whether if you're a thief, you're lustful, you're a liar, gluttonous, something is number one, and that automatically sends you to your department off top. So if you're lustful, they got a whole department full of activities that you can't even imagine. You're a thief, whole department, activities that you can't even imagine. Everything corresponds to your specialty sin. And you can't hide from eternity. You're butt naked spiritually. You can cover it up here on earth and fool people, but you can't fool him because he lives in you, you all. He's not in outer space with a pen and a pad. When you're sinning, he's there with you. So remember he said your own flesh would testify against you because he was there. He was there. There's no getting out of it. So we need to start right now, you all. There's a compartment in hell that contains something that's so massive that it's a big, huge well. But inside that, it didn't come out, but it was so big. See, listen, I want people to know, Lucifer is not the most powerful angel. Not even close. But he's the most manipulative. He was the most cunning one. He's the most convincing. He's not the most powerful because that thing does, and also I hate to tell people, is going to be released on earth. This thing, I'm telling you, it is so big. You can hear the chains. And it reminds me of the anchors of big cruise ships holding this thing inside this pit. And it seemed like all the other demons were taking direction from this thing in this pit. Not only that, I saw nothing but black mist going so fast, up and down, all through the pit. It was like a vortex of just black spirits going, up and down, and instantly, because I told you know everything. As soon as I looked, I knew those are monitoring and familiar spirits. And what they do, they take orders from hell, report and bring stuff back. All is constant, back and forth reporting. Told you, it's very organized. Those demons in hell, they look ugly, they stink, it looks horrible, but I'm telling you, their system is flawless. To destroy us and to take over the highly organized, you all. That's why don't ever sleep or underestimate on our enemy. That's why we need to just have him in the center of our lives, because without him, you lost. There's no way without God you can go up against our enemy. No way. You already lost. No way. There is no way. And these spirits that I saw, and they were bringing back forth orders. Okay? A lot of them bringing up diseases. Remember I told y'all, listen, I'm telling you, to keep you depressed, compressed. The whole name of the game is distraction. They bring up technology. They were bringing everything that you could think possible to keep you from him. Pain, relationships, money, everything. So therefore, you're not putting him in the center of your life. You're not thinking about God. And the plan, it became so clear. And it's like I told you guys, the fear and anxiety, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And it just kept going. It just kept going. Because as I'm looking at this, it's like, oh, we've been fooled. We all been fooled. We have been lied to. So how many monitoring familiar spirits got me here? And they've been with you since day one. And a lot of these are generational curses, you all. These are generational curses, too. Ancestral demons. They've been there thousands of years. You don't even know you got bloodlines all over the world. They've been and your ancestors made covenant with these familiar spirits and these demons. See, familiar spirits are nothing but the foot soldiers. They get tortured. Listen, hell is so organized, right? I'm talking about better than any military on this planet, okay? Including the Marine Kingdom. It's so organized, but yet it's not like our Father's kingdom is based off love. They do such a good job on fear, because if they don't do a good job, especially the sub-level demons, they get tortured. That's why these demons, when they come up and they don't come, it's like a quota for them. They have to fill a quota of souls. So if they don't bring you or kill you or trick you and get you to hell, that demon failed. They getting tortured. So they based on fear and hate. So they organize off fear. Our fathers organize off love. That's one thing that was mightily clear to me. And you can see the resemblance of the crumbles of that here on earth. You got those who organize because they volunteer, they love, but you got those who are forced to do. Period. It's like everything. I learned also in eternity. This life is nothing but a shadow, you all. This has no substance. This is a shadow. The real substance is eternity. This is a shadow. But yet the enemy in our flesh convinces us to believe this is the substance and eternity is the shadow. We've been lied to. I promise you. we've been lied to. But this thing in the pit, when it comes, this earth, we in trouble. That's why we need to hurry up and get our relationships right. Not only that, he already, and this is years, I'm telling you all, he said people who are even non-believers are going, and the creatures, you can go on YouTube, you can go anywhere you want, Google, wherever y'all people do. Research yourself to see how many of these weird species are just popping up. People seeing these aliens and demons and people who are not even non-believers in the spiritual realm, stuff are harassing. He said this day will come because they opening up portals, you know. And also he said, I will give them keys to the bottomless pit.
Yeah, so when people keep in mind, these people, a lot of these people don't know nothing about Enlil and Enki, right? But so they ain't when they talking about God, they're not talking about Enlil and Enki. They referring to the energy field, that they know of, that they think that they understand about God. They're not talking about, because they don't even know about Enlil and Enki, right? As far as that method, as far as reading the Bible. So they're talking about the energy, the same thing I just told you, right? These people, it's an energy, it's a dimension. Hell is a dimension on earth. I'm telling you, man. And matter of fact, let me let you hear some of the people, because they say that people be screaming. Let me let you hear how some of the screams sound, and it's way worse than this. They're at the gate, and so they hear this sound. Listen to this. To me, it could be AI, but I just really want you to hear the sound on how it sounded. That sound is really how it sound, but it's way more sinister than it.
All of a sudden it went black. That's when the fear hit me. I was in hell. Had a lot of women, sold drugs. Everything was more geared toward self-pleasing things, you know. Tyrone went to hell. Oh, I'm muted. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? Right? So look, y'all, that's crazy, because usually when the video go off, they unmute it, right? But if you listen to that dude that we just played, we're gonna play some more. We got so many clips to play, right? It's gonna be probably like a 2-hour long tape, but I just want to let you hear all these storylines based on this place. When you go into this realm, and it's like I say, it's the fourth dimensional realm, a low limbo, and it's here on earth. It's a place here on earth, right? Hell is a place here on earth. I'm telling you, man. But we're gonna go in some more. Hold on, we got some more for you. Let's see. Let's let this guy right here talk about it. Let's see.
I just booked the hotel, and this is about to be the part where I seen hell. You know, it's one day, and I'm like, I can't be sober around this girl, because I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I don't know how to stop. And I got delivered twice. I'm like, what's going on? So, you know, and I slept with her because, you know, she wasn't gonna be with me unless I did sleep with her. And I was trying to put that, when I slept with her, that made me feel a little bit better, made me run from life because I'm drugs, because I knew something ain't right. You know, something ain't right. Mind you, this is after I already heard the prophet say,
we got my physical body, and I thought that I was going upward, but because I thought I had done so much good in this lifetime and helped so many people and made so many decisions that were godly decisions, but as opposed to me going up, I went down, and I went literally into the center of the earth, and that's where hell is. Jesus even said that in the scriptures. He says, just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a whale, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the earth, which is where hell is. The things that I saw were literally undescribable, and it just makes me emotional every time I talk about it. But it was one of the things that I saw that just blew me away was there's a man on all fours like a dog. He was burned from the crown of his head to the soles of his feet, and his eyes were bulging out. And what was worse than that is that he had a chain around his neck. So he was like a dog in hell. And what was even worse than that is that who was holding the chain? It was a demon holding the chain. And I knew, because they're not said, they're known. It's like a telepathic communication. I knew that this demon was sent in this man's life to ride him from his childhood until the time that he died, because the demon knew that if I could stay in his life long enough on the earth, if I can keep getting him to not serve God and to make bad decisions on the earth, then I'll have power over him in hell, and he'll be a slave to me. So it's like twice a slave. It's like you're a slave on the earth to the things of the devil, and then in hell you're really like a tormented dog slave. And then there was another part that I experienced that just blew me away. It still baffles me to this day. There was a section in hell where music was playing, and it was the same music that we hear on the earth, but as opposed to entertainers singing it, the music, demons were singing it. And it was some of the same lyrics that we hear here. And then again, things, like I said, they're not things that are not telepathically, things are telepathically known there. I knew that on earth, a lot of the lyrics and the music and the songs are inspired by demons. So sometimes when people smoke to get high and to get lyrics and to get verses and rappers and all those things. So in a lot of music, people actually smoke to get high, to get verses and to get bars and to be hot and to be fresh and to get that swag. But when they open themselves up to a false high, it's like illegal access into the spirit realm. They actually come in contact with demons who give them lyrics for the purpose of controlling people on the earth. So here, music is for like to get over a breakup. Don't worry, be happy. I busted windows out your car, or under my umbrella, or whatever. Every lyric to every song is to torment you as to the fact that you didn't worship God through music when you were on the earth. So it's like, you had a chance to worship him in church and worship him at home and worship him through music, but you chose to worship Satan by repeating the lyrics that he inspired to come into the earth. So there's people there for that, because music is very controlling. And I was angry with God, because it's like, how did I do this much good and I'm actually in hell? Well, I lifted up out of hell and I came back on the earth, and God began to speak to me. I actually saw the real Jesus. I saw him, and he began to speak to me, and he said, you have been secretly upset with the people that hurt you. You have been hoping that I would punish the people that hurt you. He said, these are not your people, these are my people. He says, I only want you to focus on the assignment that I'm giving you, because I want to do something through you that the world hasn't seen. And so the root of it is that although I did good, I gave a lot to people, I did a whole lot of good things, the thing that I had in my heart was unforgiveness towards people who had did me wrong. Because a person that can't forgive is a person that's forgotten how much they have been forgiven of. So that's my experience with hell. Hell is a real place, and I don't believe that God doesn't send people to hell. People send themselves to hell. And whatever's still left inside of you that God has been trying to get out of you, that you die with, that's going to determine where you go. God's going to want to know, did you learn to love well? Did you learn to forgive well? Did you serve me well? Did you do something
every day to get some, to make sure you got food, and starving? This is hell. People are homeless. I'm telling you, this is a first level hell. But the only difference between this first level and the other level, because the third, you got kicked down to the third dimension, or what you call in third dimension. And the only difference between here and where these people are describing, which is the low fourth dimension, where it starts at, is that God's love, or what you calling God, we're not talking about Enlil and Enki. We're talking about the universal energy. What you calling God, Go get a movie called Odd Thomas.
There were demons that tore my flesh open. The flesh hung like ribbons. You have a body in hell. The one picked me up, threw me into the wall. I felt the bones break. I felt the pain, and they have an extreme hatred.
Now, did you scream?
Yes,
when
I
you
did.
When you were thrown against the wall?
Yes, I did. I'm very calm now, but I wasn't there.
Now, were other people screaming while you were there?
The screams are so loud, Sid, you can't stand it. It's deafening to hear millions of people screaming at the top of their lungs, and you can't ever get away from that. There's no peace or quiet in hell. You have to endure that for all eternity. And like I said, these demons hate you, an extreme hatred they have for God, and they hate you, His creation. And there's nothing you can do to defend yourself. You have no strength in your body. You're completely void of any kind of physical strength. You have to endure the odors, the foul smells in hell are so putrid and disgusting, worse than any open sewer, and the smell of burning sulfur. And sulfur is actually toxic to breathe. And you wonder, how could I be alive, breathe in this toxic air? But yet you keep going. There's not enough air to breathe in hell. Just like here, we need air. You don't have enough air there. You have to fight and gasp for even the tiniest bit of air. And this is how you breathe in hell. It's like, that was as much air as you could get. So any moment you feel like I'm going to die from a lack of oxygen.
Okay, now he was in hell, even though he was a believer, and it was blocked from his mind that he was a believer. And tell me about the moment you got rescued.
I was observing all these people burning in this big, huge, raging pit of fire, surrounded by demons all around me. I was standing on a bed of maggots, just solid maggots. It's disgusting.
By the way, could you smell? Was a sense of smell there?
Terrible odors, foul, disgusting odors. Like I said, the smell of like an open sewer, the smell of sulfur, which is toxic.
Was there any quietness?
It's so loud. You want to get away from it, but you can't. There is never any peace of mind in hell. You have to endure all the people screaming at the top of their lungs. And I was observing all this. You're exhausted. You don't ever get to go to sleep in hell. You need sleep, but you don't get to sleep.
All right, tell me about the rescue.
I was being pulled up this tunnel, and suddenly this bright light appeared. I knew immediately who it was. I said, Jesus. And he said, I am. And when he said, I am, I collapsed at his feet. And he touched me. And when I came to, Sid, I didn't see his face, just the outline of a man standing in this bright, pure, holy light. And I didn't want to ask him any questions, but thoughts started coming to my mind. And I thought, Lord, why did you send me to this horrible place? He said, because many people do not believe hell is real. He said, even some of my own people do not believe hell exists.
Yeah, but you believed it was real.
Let me tell you something. Like, this is my first time. I don't know who this dude is. This is my first time ever watching that, right? I just loaded it up. I really didn't even watch the whole thing, but I know he telling the truth about the part where that he's about Jesus, how he looked. I'm telling you, because I seen the same exact thing myself. Like he looked like light, like the sun, but like in a body figure. I'm telling you, but I couldn't look at his whole body though. I only saw really his legs. I could look up, but every time I tried to look up, it was so bright I had to look back down at his feet. Right? I'm telling you, man, that dude ain't lying about that part. I don't know where he get that from, but I seen it myself, that part.
You can just hear it, and I knew it had to be billions. Hundreds of millions of billions of people down there. I mean, screaming, and then their screams are gut-wrenching. The same way I heard those demonic laughs, I can feel it in my gut and feel it in my soul. Those screams were worse because it was suffering. It was blasphemous things being yelled. It was just horrible, you know, people begging for one more chance. I mean, the thing is, when you're in the spirit, you can hear 1,000 noises at one time, but you can decipher and know each one, whether they're playing simultaneously or not. You can distinctively know and hear everything. You know, like I said, it's hard to explain, but that's the closest I can get to it. But as I fall and I see this portal, it looked like an old cave, or like I'm entering an old cave system. Okay, and then that's when I felt the heat. See. Now I'm looking back on it. It probably already was hot when I got closer to it, but I was so shocked and so terrified by everything else. I didn't pay attention to the heat until I actually got into the first portion of the portal. And then that's when the heat hit me. on top of everything. It was just a bombardment of everything. And, here on earth, in our physical bodies, we feel things separately, meaning like, our nervous system. So if you get poked in your back, you get punched or something like that, you can feel it just kind of in that spot. But no, there you feel it all simultaneously at one time. Pain, everything. It's your whole body, because now I'm learning I was in my spirit body. I was so used to being in my physical body, it didn't make any sense to me. But when I felt this heat, it's a different fabric. It's a different fabric of heat. It's not like how you burn your finger here. It's a spiritual component. I was in hell and I knew I was going to hell. But once I passed the portal, all I remember is when I hit the bottom. I didn't feel anything when I first hit. So I'm trying to think, I was asking, was it the Lord that softened the blow when I first hit? But when I raised my eyes, it felt like I had no strength. I felt like I hadn't eaten for like months. I couldn't breathe. It was horrible. Just a feeling of just nothing. And then the only thing that kept coming to my mind was, and I know the Lord did this purposely, was thinking of everything that I took for granted. Movement, a drink of water, just to have the ability to move my arms just freely, the ability to breathe, all the things that we take for granted. It was going through my mind. I knew it came from God. I just, like, and I knew I took it for granted. And there, first thing is I look over. See, it was dark, but I'm trying to, wonder if the Lord was making me be able to see. But the flames itself were emitting so high from these pews, like these vents from the rocks. And that's another thing too I want to add. I don't want to move too fast, but one thing I do want to add. For some reason, I knew I was still here on Earth. I still knew I wasn't in outer space somewhere. I wasn't under space. I was in a different dimension, but I was still on Earth. I knew that. I knew it's here on Earth. So the Lord is right. Hell is a place on Earth. The scriptures are right. It is here on Earth. It's just a different dimension. So as I'm looking around and I'm just already, but I see when the flames, they come up, and then you can see the illumination from the flames. You can see. And the first thing I noticed were these demons, things. They're the most grotesque, smelliest. Hollywood can't even get close to how these things look. They're so deformed. They had legs and twisted arms, but they had a reptilian look, a reptile look to them. And their eyes were glowing yellow. Some of them eyes were red. Some of them were like 13 feet tall. Some of them were this big. They're everywhere. And there's just bugs, there's spiders, and there's just everything. But what really caught my attention was these pits everywhere. And this one demon glanced at me and he started laughing. But down in the pits were just people. Okay.
I seen hell and I seen my cousin. I had a cousin last year. His name was James and he got killed. I was in the place of the dead. And when I was in this place, just the horror of this place, your mind can't comprehend. It was so horrible. When I looked around me, my mind could not comprehend it. I couldn't even picture it. But I saw this soul in front of me. And when I looked at him, I couldn't recognize him, but I knew this was James. And he was in the flames, and he was just talking to me, man. When he was talking, he would say something, and then he would cry. He would say something, and then he would cry. And he would say something, and then he would cry. And he was telling me, dudes be hanging from their limbs. Like, he was telling me, Ray, they was hanging from their intestines like it's nothing around here. As he's in the flames, and he just was crying. And he said to me, Ray, the torment is so bad. I only got 2 seconds to be in my thoughts. 2 seconds. And it's back to the torment so bad you can't even think. And he was saying, whatever peace I have right now, it's because I'm talking to you. Whatever peace I have, it's because I'm talking to you to tell you these things. I wish I listened to you. That's what he said to me. I wish I listened to you.
Follow me at Chambers of Hell to discover hell's hidden truth.
They force people to fornicate with devils until their flesh falls off. I want you to imagine fornicating against your will until the point that your flesh can no longer stay on your bones. And then when you're down to your bones, you just regenerate to experience it again and again and again and again. But there is a particularly difference between those that are tormenting to those who were receiving a specific torment. The Lord allowed me to understand the difference. You see, those that are just getting generally tormented, these were lukewarm Christians that believed that they could fornicate, that they could be in pornography, that they could be of lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and there wouldn't be a consequence. They were given over to their desires, and the devils enjoyed tormenting them more than they did the sinners. You saw that the sinners were tormented, but the ones that had that upon them, and you're probably going, what does that look like? How do you know which ones were Christians and the ones that were not? I'm glad you asked. There's a light that was in them that the devils were constantly trying to rip away from their flesh. They were consuming the glow that was left upon them. The best way to explain it is imagine anointing oil that was once on something, but you can smell what's left over. Just that pitch. It's the same thing. You were once in the presence of God. Unlike those that are darkness, they hate you more because you have the residue of light. Now on to those that were really dark. They got special assignments. Those who raped others in this life were raped themselves. It was a consistent thing, but the demonic thing about it was they were raped by those that they raped. These demons took on this imagery, and this was their punishment forever. I wish I could say it got better, but it got worse. Those that molested children, molested as children, God kept them in the form as children to experience what they did to other children. So forever they were tormented in hell for the things they did in this life. This messenger asked me, he said, have you had enough of this? Do you understand what's going on here? And I said, I do. He said, then we must move on. There's much to show you.
Giant stadium, and I meet, I just like come to a stop, this abrupt stop, and all of a sudden it's just like as clear as day, a line of people, and they reminded me of zombies because they got, some of them had their hands on the shoulders of the guy in front of them, and they're all just kind of like pacing in a single file line, just going in this humongous circle, and their eyes, most of them, their eyes are closed. Some of them are like almost drooling, like they're all look like they're sedated. They all look like, I mean, you're not going to be able to go high and they go high back. They're not, you're looking at them, you guys are in the same room, but they are not going to hear you. They're not going to see you. They're somewhere else in their head, if that makes sense. And this one dude, as people are passing me by, I'm just looking at all, I'm picturing like this purplish blue robe thing that this one person had on. It was weird clothes and stuff. Like just, so anyways, I'm just kind of like, my eyes are just getting full of just things, you know what I mean? And I was trying to understand why I had my clothes on. I didn't understand how that would happen if I wasn't in my body, you know what I mean? And so anyways, this one dude that he passes me, he's dressed like he was, you know, alive during when the Dangerous Minds movie came out, you know, like Gangster Paradise song 96. I don't know, he just looked like probably my age, probably like, you know, grew up around where I grew up, maybe. I don't know, just something real familiar looking. And so anyways, as soon as I look at him, because he stands out, because he's like white and he's American, and I get all this information about him, and he's kind of like, I'm relating to him a little bit, you know, and I kind of want to know what's up with him or why he's here. I just start to wonder. And anytime you start to wonder, the answer is boom before you finish your thought. So I started to wonder what was up with him, and immediately I go right into like his head. And now I'm looking down with his hands, and I'm looking down. I'm in he's in a trance, or he's in a dream world, or It says in the Bible, you'll be given over to your sin. And it's like, this guy is a little boy over and over and over and over for eternity. And he can't stop. And he doesn't want to be doing it. Zero enjoyment. Now that he has the full truth from being in the spirit world, now he knows, hey, how messed up what he's doing is. He don't want no part of it. You know what I mean? So, but that's what he wanted to do when he was alive. And the Lord just, fine, you want that? There you go. You can have it. You can have till you puke. You can have as much as you want. But he's not really raping a little boy. It's in his head. But like, I mean, it's a very real, you can't tell the difference at all. So I go into his trance. I'm looking down with his hands and he's doing what he's doing. And in the half of a second, I'm already back out because I just rejected everything I was seeing. I was like, you know what I mean? I just immediately, I'm like, oh my God. Just like trying to, just stop seeing what I was seeing. Sick. Absolutely sick. But anyways, that entire line of people, I want to say it goes around for 500 billion miles or something, but that might be bigger than the earth. But it's just like the line was insanely huge, and it was all sexual perversion. It was all sexual. So people, homosexuals, child molesters, adulterers. Heck, if you're a straight guy and you just like women, if you're an adulterer, same deal, man. You know what I mean? If you ain't got self-control or whatever, if you're doing what you know is against the Lord, they got a section for you.
I was just going to say, so Cody, that was a certain section that you're in right now with the sexual perversion.
The first section was they think they're Christians. The second section was the sexual perversion. And then,
right, so that dude was like in a nightmare. Not the dude that was talking, but the dude that he explained that he jumped in, because you can, like you said, everybody's saying the same thing. When you look at somebody when they cross your brain, you instantly know why they're there, right? So, like he was saying, when he jumped into the dude's mind, that dude was in like sort of like a nightmare. Whatever he did, the evil that he did, like it was messing with little kids. The evil that he did was messing with little kids. So when he went to hell, he was trapped in a nightmare where he was a little kid and the demons were doing the exact same thing to him that he did to the little kids. Like that type of thing, right? All right, so let's run.
And then the flames start again. And I also seen maggots crawling through your flesh, in your bones. And they're eating you. They're eating your flesh. It makes no difference. Just picture yourself now in the earth. If you have bugs or maggots eating your flesh, how would that feel? But you're in hell already. There's nothing you can do. You have to. That's the torture. That's your everlasting torture life in there. I seen teenagers for the disobedience of their parents. I seen pastors because it said in the word, for they have robbed me of my tithing. I seen Christians because they didn't want to get up and do anything for God. And then Christians doing things at home, thinking that nobody will see them. And keep repenting, but they just never got out of doing what they kept doing and playing with God. They were either warm or you were cold, but they're lukewarm. They just kept playing and playing and playing. But the flames there rise higher on Christians. Demons torture you in different ways. Even sexually. They can tear your head. They can sexually attack you. They can cut you. They can stab you. They will tear your pieces. And you're still alive. You can feel everything that's going on. I seen witches. I seen warlocks. Because Satan told them that he was going to promise them their kingdom if they serve him. Which it was a lie. All he wanted was your soul. One soul is 1,000,000 souls to the Lord. That's how valuable your soul is. As I'm walking through this dirt road, there's fire and there's screaming, there's shouting, and people saying that, let me out. Let me out. I want to do right. I want to do right this time. I promise to do right. Let me go out and tell the world and let them know that this is a real place. Hell is real. But it's too late, because once we have our opportunity and our chances, God's so merciful, he's so lovable, he gives you chance after chance after chance. And if we don't take that chance, that's where we're going to go. there was also people in there because they had no love and no forgiveness for their others. It says, pray for your enemies. It says in the Word of God, if you have no love, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. If you have no forgiveness, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Because God is pure love. Every one of these people that were being tortured and burned, there's no sleep, there's no rest, there's no food, there's no water. You know how it feels sometimes we don't go without water for a while? Man, we need water. Even though we don't like water, but man, we need water. I want some water. Food, rest. You ever been, when night falls, you're tired, you need to sleep? There's no sleep there. These demons go in there day and night and they torture you in every which way. There's never no rest for you. Burning, fire. I mean, that's the least of your problems of you sleeping, not drinking, or it's the torture that you're going through with these demons. And as I begin to walk down this trail, there was rivers, but rivers of fire. And as I can see inside the rivers, I can see these little eyes looking up at me. And it almost appeared that as they were going up and down, it was like they were chained up together and they were walking, going up and down as they wanted to get out. But you could hear their screams, and you can see them reaching out with their hands. You can see the skeleton. And then God knows the thoughts before we think them. So these are the words that I would receive. Those were the lesbians. Those were the homosexuals. These are the gay men that were chained up together, walking in these rivers of fire. Some of them wanted out, but it was too late. And as we go, and as I'm going, I'm walking through this road, and all this fire and all these rivers. And I start seeing a lot of crosses and fire all over the place. And you see demons poking their privates with these swords, poking their privates all the way in and coming out through their chests in different directions. But they start in through their privates. And the word it says that masturbation is a no-no. It's a sin. It says cut up your hand and throw it into the fire. It is better than your hand to burn than your whole body. Those were the people that had that were changed up, that they were in that curse, that they could not get out of pornography, masturbation, sexual desires that the enemy will bring to them. And let me tell you something that demons will tell them, will speak in there. Demons call us, we're stupid humans. That's the way they talk. That's the way they think of us. That we're stupid because we're so dumb to listen to every little lie that the enemy says. And I've seen a lot of these Christians in there for that. They say, well, a lot of Christians say, hey, I heard the devil tell me this. I heard the devil. Well, why can't we hear God? But because the bondage that we're in, the sin that we're in, and also for not loving each other. Not loving each other, because I went back to that. We were not into the kingdom of heaven if there's no love and no repentance or forgiveness. There's Christians in there because they could not forgive. They just would not forgive. God says, if I have forgiven your sins and remember them no more, why can you forgive? But now it was too late. They wanted to forgive. They're screaming in there, I forgive you. I forgive you. Get me out of here. I want to be set free. I want to do what's right. I want to go speak the word. I just want to live my life for you. But it says it's too late. It is too late. And I could continue walking through this. I wanted to be out. I was so afraid already. I didn't want to see no more. I did not want to see no more. I just wanted to bow down in the corner there or wherever and drop, and I wanted to close my eyes, and I didn't want to see nothing no more. But whatever it was, it controls you. I was controlled to see and to move forward. In our carnal minds, we think that, oh, well, I can fight them off. I can run from them. No, there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. And you cannot fight these things. They're 10 times bigger than you, 10 times stronger than you. And there's no way you would ever get out of these things. You would always burn. witches in cells. There's cells in there, just like in prison. And everybody that was in these cells are the ones that created more crime, more sin in their lives. I also seen warlocks and witches where they were biting their flesh. They're trying to drink their blood because there's no water in there. They figured if I bite my flesh off too, I can drink blood. So that's what I thought. But these are the words that came to me when I seen witches and warlocks biting their flesh. And these are the words is because when they were on the earth, they sacrificed humans. They sacrificed animals. And they drank blood. And they ate the flesh of the sacrifice they did. So that's why they were in there burning and torturing and trying to eat.
Hey, peace and love for everybody that's coming in. Tanya 23, you must be late. We already broke all that down that you're talking about. And you say about when you talk about Jesus, you thinking about the white guy coming out the clouds. You way off. You way off. That's what they told you. That's way off to what the real energy is. It's way off. And for you, since you want to be so ancient Kemet, we got something for you. I think you just came in too late. But you must just see this. We just showed this. The Jesus being you talking about is Haru. So talking about this ancient Kemet all day, ain't no such thing. That's Haru right there. That's the Jesus, the energy you talking about right there. For you ancient Kemetic people. Right? This is the Father sitting on the throne. He's being taken, the being is being taken. This story, they tell it in a Christianity format. If you listen to Muslims teaching, they'll tell you in a Muslim, because all of them get it from this storyline. But what I'm saying, does that make it less that real? Does that mean that it ain't real? Because keep in mind, we got real R-E-A-L and R-E-E-L. And everything is electromagnetic frequencies. So that place is an electromagnetic frequency place, a dimension that you go to. It's kind of like being stuck in a nightmare, but it's for people who are evil. And it is based on the 42 negative laws of man. We already said all that. You coming in late, Tanya 23. We already said all that. Right? Now, this is about this, the Jesus thing, all that is all ties in together. But like I say, the main thing is about the intentions and the weighing of the heart ceremony. The Maat thing is dealing with the scales. The feather of Maat is dealing with the 42 negative confessions or the 42 laws of Maat, which is pretty much the same thing as the 10 commandments. It is the same thing. It's just 10 commandments is lesser commandments. It's actually 613 commandments if you ask a Kohen priest. But if you see Osiris, the one who has the green, who has a face like an emerald, the green, and these are the 4 beasts that sit on the throne right here, right? So don't think Tanya 23. Don't think you talking to y'all punk off the street. We ain't no young punks off the streets now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we already taught this. We taught this. I'm just telling you. What we doing is we giving you the after effect. Once Anubis throw your heart into the and keep in mind, I'm gonna play some tapes where people describe this being. When Anubis throw your heart to the dragon, boom, you are cast into under darkness. It's the same storyline. It's just Christians telling it. It's the same story, man. So don't get it twisted, Tanya. So peace is all love, though. It's all peace. So we explained all that at the beginning of the tape about all these people, all these religions getting this is the jury of 12 at the top right here. Remember how they judge you at the jury of 12? How they use the scales for the court? This Anubis. They call Anubis the like the god of the dead or the angel of death. Right? This is Tahuti. Tahuti is writing down the judgment call. And then once their heart is being weighed, his heart, right, is lighter than a feather, because you see the feather is lower on this side. So he passed. Now Jesus, who they call it Jesus, right, Haru, is taking the soul of the being who has been judged to the Father who sits on the throne, etc. It's the same storyline. It's just that they telling it from a Christian perspective. You hear what I'm telling you? So that make the hell story not real. If you coming from the hell story existed, they got it from us, the ancient Egyptians. So we just wanted to point that out for my latecomers.
The biggest dimension and the biggest space that I saw in here were gossipers. Okay, I thought it would be first. I thought it would be the sex. I thought no. It was the biggest, and it's forever growing too. Hell is always growing. Every time it's growing. Every nanosecond, it's people falling in there. So by the time we finish this, probably good million and some just in this country fell in there. Facts. Wow. It moves me so much because we don't understand you all. You wouldn't even want your worst enemy to go there. It is so beyond horrible that you can't even fathom nothing. But I do want to say this. When I talk about the gossipers and the gossiping and the slandering, people don't know in the spirit what that does. And the Father cannot stand it, because it's one of the worst things you can do to anyone is lie on them, because you misdirect people and you destroy so many opportunities for that person. You discredit that person. That is a spirit behind that. It's a spirit. It's so demonic. And we don't know how powerful that is. And do you know what hurt my heart? It was mostly Christians from the church that I saw. I don't know if he wanted me to see that, but I'm glad I saw that. It was the biggest people of the so-called church that I saw. And you know what? When I instantly knew, I saw, as soon as I looked at them, I saw people gossiping in church about people in the church, but then smiling in their face, oh, hi. Then as soon as they walk off, oh, you heard about what their son is and he's in jail and blah, 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 blah. In church. And one thing I want people to know, once you give your life over to God, once you have a true surrenderance in the baptism, you get a light on your forehead in the spiritual realm. You have a light. And if you have that light, and you don't use it correctly and you die, right? Because people, it's not once saved, always saved. That's from the pits of hell. Just because you got baptized and stuff, but you still eating off the fruit of Lucifer and the table of Lucifer, you're going to die, you're going to go to hell. This is not it's not a one saved, always saved. But one thing that sticks with you when you go to hell is that light in your head. But you know what that does? That makes your torture worse. That gives you a signal for the demons to attack you even more, because you really got the signature that you was a traitor to them because you was eating off their table, so they really going to ridicule you and tear you apart. But that light lets you know you're a traitor, and it makes your light backfires on you if you misuse it. So remember, our Lord said that's what he was talking about when he said you better off being cold than lukewarm. That's what he meant. I'm trying to tell you people, because you're going to be tagged in eternity with that light. But where you're going with that light makes you opposition beyond opposition, and you in enemy's dimension with no assistance. You're cut off from our Father. So what you think is about to happen for you or to you? People, this is so real. So stop. Even, I don't want to hear nobody say, I don't gossip. Even if you listen to it, you're just as culpable. You're still going to get the same accountability. Even if you listen to it, you don't have to say anything. So move around. Think around people that gossip, because I'm telling you from my personal experience in hell, that was the biggest congregated section that I've seen, period. There's a section for fake pastors. The demon will torture them with so much exuberance and so much fun, it will blow your mind what they were doing to people.
Brother, I also wanted to ask you, when you saw those preachers in hell, did God tell you why they were there? For example, for not preaching against sin, for not preaching against hell, for not correcting their members who were in sinful ways?
Yeah, I saw the pastors that I saw in hell. They were there for, I remember it in detail. They were taking money, okay? They were having sex with their church members. They were watering down the word. A lot of them behind the scenes were practicing voodoo and Santeria, but then claiming Christianity were invading the churches in people's minds, okay? They were also gossipers and slanderers. They also were competitive against other churches to knock other churches down. Yeah, so those are just 7 of the details of why those preachers and pastors that I saw were getting there, for sure. Those are the 7 major reasons why I saw. And I know for a fact. Yeah.
Okay. And so you said they were not preaching against sin. They were not correcting their church members who were engaged in willful sinning. They didn't say anything. They just kept quiet.
What they did, they were portals. Those pastors and preachers and deacons and bishops, were letting the world into the church. They were slowly incorporating because they wanted numbers. A lot of them wanted more fame than to actually have the word to be famous. They wanted to fill in their pews for numbers instead of getting the word out. So then they start compromising our Father's word. So then they made a little more elbow room. Okay, it's fine. A little more elbow room for the sake to have numbers, or for the sake for them to be a famous pastor or a preacher. So then they made more and more leeway for people to sin. So they started condoning sin, which watered down the word, and then boom, there you go. Just like in the lustful part I was saying before. It's a quick summary. They were raping this young lady, these demons, and some of them 15 feet tall, some of them this big, some of them my height, some of them 6 feet tall. But they were raping her in every crevice, from every ears, eyes. They were penetrating her nose, mouth, every ripping. Listen, you all, there's nothing that is beyond the scope of what's happening. And you know what's so weird? It's happening right underneath our feet in a different dimension, because hell is here on earth, but it's in a different dimension. But it's still below us. It's literally below our feet. People, right now as we're speaking, you all, that dimension getting tortured is happening. People are getting dropped off. You know how many people died during this conversation? Just like the seconds are going tick, tick, tick. People are dropping without him, without no true relationship. So they automatically qualify themselves for hell, and it's breaking our Father's heart.
Hey, 23, Tanya, I think you missing the point here. You said we're trying to free our people from oppression. Yeah, because you saying that you're talking about from the point of view that King James, the Christians, is the ones that came the colonizers. We're not talking Christianity here. Keep that in mind. We're not. We can say we're talking Christianity, but this go back before this. We've already had this concept for thousands of years before the colonizers. Before 1492, we already had a hell concept. We didn't call it hell, but we had a hell. We had a place where, if you're gonna be a bad guy, you go to this place. We've been had that concept for thousands of years. Every culture got most of all the religious cultures got this concept inside of their teachings. Hey, listen to this. You say you want some. Tanya 23 says she wants some hot. Hey, keep in mind when these people are saying God, they don't know nothing about Enlil and Enki now, right? And the Elohims, extraterrestrial. When they saying God, they really referring to the ultimate source of existence. They're not. And then when they say Jesus, they associating them every day, right? Because at 8 years old, you get sent to the temple at Luxor. And then when you go into that school, every day when you walk into school, you have to walk into this holy area, and you have to recite all of the 42 negative confessions. And in your heart say that, have I did any of these? If I did, I had to go back and get forgiveness for the people that I have did wrong. I have not stole. I have not killed. I have not, etc. It's the same thing as the 10 Commandments. So people getting all because we've been talking about teaching on Enlil, 200 following all this information. We got to put everything on the table. That way, when somebody else said it won't throw you off. We got to tell you both sides of the field. But with the 200 following, their perspective, everybody's perspective, we got to put everything on the table so you can be the judge, be the pick. Pick what, because you better pick what side you on. Either you with Michael and his angels, Revelations chapter 12, verse 7, or you with Michael and you with Michael and his angels, or you with the dragon and his angels. The dragon and his angels want to do fornication. They want to party all the time. They want to have fun, right? Girls just want to have fun, right? And fun is the first 3 letters in funeral. So you could go off and be evil, and your heart gonna bear witness against you. When it's time to weigh your heart at the weighing of the heart ceremony, and you're not vibrating on that green light or higher, you will be cast into utter darkness, the second death. We already told people this before King James and them came over with their Bible. You already knew all this. This was ancient Kemet, you know. A lot of this papyrus and stuff is in the Grand Canyon, you know. That's why they blocking it. That's why they blocking the Grand Canyon. You can't even fly over it. No fly zone. Why are they doing that? Because the devil wants you to land yourself in the place that they call hell. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's his ultimate thing. So only people that's mad about this is the bad guys. People that's out molesting little children. People that's out masturbating and jacking off, watching porn. It's only people that can be mad about this. And if you doing that and you ain't mad about this, or it ain't affecting you, then you might be of the devil's seed. You know what I'm saying? That's just all. And then so you accept your own fate already when you're part of the devil's seed. You know what I'm saying? The devil already got his destination. And you cool. Some people cool with going to hell. Right? They even tell you to go to hell. Right? If you come trying to tell them about this stuff. Right? They'll tell you to go to. Some people cool with going to hell. They cool with being getting their little 20, 30, whatever their lifespan is of being evil and dirty and mean. They cool with getting that off just to go land themselves in this place. You know what I'm saying? All right, hey, so you don't gotta believe it if you don't want. But do you want to land? Would you want to land yourself? Would you want to die and then land yourself down there to find out it was real, or do you want to just take the necessary steps right now, not to get sent there? Like I say, the energy that they calling Jesus is a real energy. I don't care. This ain't my own perspective. A lot of people say the same thing, but I seen it myself. I seen him myself. I only seen his feet though, and his legs. I had my hand on his leg like this. He was standing on my chest, and I only could see his foot. And when I looked up, all I could see is a bright light. So it hurt your eyes. So I looked down, and this happened. I'm gonna tell you why this happened. It was right around the time I was dissing Jesus. Right, I was making diss tapes of Jesus, saying all the stuff that these people that's coming on here now talking about Jesus, saying Jesus this, Jesus it. I was doing the same thing you was doing. I was saying Jesus, man, that's all, that's the white man teachings, that's this and that, all that, the whole rundown. And then bad thing, Jesus has been protecting me the whole time, and then he turned his back on me. And then bad stuff started happening to me. And then I started to figure out, I say, why all this bad stuff happened to me. Then one night, that's when he put his foot on me. And then he took his foot off me, and then the bad stuff stopped happening. But the thing is, a lot of y'all, your grandma gave you Jesus a long time ago. Or your granddaddy or somebody, right? And I bet you, whether you want to admit it or not, when you used it, it worked. Whether you want to admit it or not. So it's energy. It's a love. You know what God is? God is life itself. And life is love. Life is love itself. God is love and God is life. How do you know? Go open up your Bible to the beginning when it says God breathed his spirit. God is a spirit. God breathed his spirit into man. And man came living. So God is living. God is life itself. Everything that has life has God in it. So it's not a person. It's an energy. It's a life. It's love. That's what Jesus is. That's why Dr. Malachi Z York died. Dr. Malachi Z, when he said he died and came back, he said that he came back saying, this is what Bodie said, right? Bodie attests to this. Shout out Bodie, my big bro, Bodie. Bodie said that Doc came back saying that stamp the love of Jesus in your heart. And he put out a book right after that called The Life After Death. The Life After Death, right? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, Dr. Mel, the guy that taught us all this anarchy, all this stuff. All the stuff, everything you can think about, that you were talking about, Doc taught it, and he came back after he died and came back from a near-death experience. He said, stamp the love of Jesus in your heart. And you can go ask anybody that'll tell you the truth that was there. Don't believe me, go ask around. I'm just saying, man. So we ain't got to make you believe nothing. Go on doing what you want. Go on doing your evil. Keep on doing it. They got a number for you. And they going to do whatever you doing. They going to do it to you 10 times over when you get down there. Keep that in mind. I'm telling you, man.
Welcome to hell. Those who enter here are...
But it's so bad in hell.
It's hard to explain. And I have to be very blunt and honest. The hardest part about my testimony is talking about hell because it's so vivid and you can't forget it. Just like you can't forget heaven. I can't forget hell. The pain is intense, very intense. And when they laugh at you and the demons make fun of you, it's unbelievable. Now, here's the other part of it that goes right in line with this. All of the demons know everything about you. Just like when you go past people, the billions of people, however many you go past, 100,000, 1 million, whatever. Every time you look at somebody, as soon as you look at them, you instantly know every single detail about them. And you know what? They instantly know every detail about you. They see your whole life instant, within a split second. And you've heard people say, hey, my whole life flashed before me. That's what I'm talking about. But you know everything and you see it in detail, in great detail. I knew absolutely everything about everybody and they did about me. And so the demons used that against me. They made fun of me. They made fun of my childhood. They made fun of all the stupid decisions I made, especially with girls and with drugs and everything else that I did in my life. They absolutely enjoyed tearing me apart. They loved it. They loved making fun of me. They loved saying things about me. Let me tell you what, that hurt. You know, the old saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's one of the biggest lies that's ever been out there because words are more painful than being beaten. Trust me, I know I've been beaten pretty bad. And I can tell you that those words, when they spoke it in the spirit, hurt so bad. And they knew exactly what to use. But here is the most devastating thing. The absolute most devastating thing about hell is that you're in your final place that you're going to be at forever. And there's no hope. You see, anybody that goes to hell, I'm one in maybe 500 million, billion, whatever, that ever get out of hell. I mean, truthfully, that are in there, that's going to be there forever, that was supposed to be there, that gets out. Not somebody that just sees it, you know, because they die for a little bit and they see what hell's like and they get to leave. I was in hell. I watched what the demons were doing. I watched the demons were salivating, just thinking about video games that were coming out in 1978, because they knew that they were going to be able to occupy it, just like they occupied the radio, just like they occupied television, because what happened, and just like they occupied now with the internet, but back then it wasn't. But when they occupy all these things, they know everything that's going on. They know absolutely everything, and they can't wait to get their hands on it so they can destroy it for everybody. And these demons were doing that, but there's no hope. Let me explain no hope. If you're in a perfectly good airplane, one of those that people jump out of, and you're like 10 or 15,000 feet up, and you're like, okay, I'm going to jump out of this airplane, a perfectly good airplane, and you have absolutely no parachute or anything else attached to you, absolutely nothing. And you're going to jump out of this airplane and you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, everything on the ground, when you look out and you look down there and you go, wow, everything is solid concrete or rock. That's all that's there, concrete and rock. And you're going to jump out and you're going to land on your head. That's the only way you're going to land. And you're going to fall 10 or 15,000 feet. But when you land, you're going to hit this rock, boom, right on your head. You have more hope. You'll have a lot more hope believing that you're going to get up from that and walk away from that. Just walk away, perfectly clear, than you have in hell. You see, there's no hope in hell. Hell is final. And when I mean final, I mean there's nothing left. Absolutely nothing. You can't do anything whatsoever. That's what I mean. Just absolutely done with the hope. So you have to understand it's final. And when people are coming and arriving in hell, they're just like me. They're screaming and kicking and crying. They don't want to be in hell. It's the worst experience. And everybody's like, save me, help me, get out of here. I need to get out of here. No, I'm not supposed to be here. Nobody thought they were supposed to be in hell. Many people are coming and go, no, can't be for real. This isn't real. It's not supposed to be. I've been told that hell is what we go through on earth. It's not really hell. There's no real hell. And then I have people that are going, I was saved. Here's the problem. There were so many people in hell. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get upset. But there were so many people in hell that believed once saved, always saved. And that meant they could live however they wanted to. I'm not talking about the people that get saved and they're a Christian. And yes, they are once saved, always saved. I'm talking about the ones that believed that they could do whatever they wanted to do. And they were in hell and they were screaming. They were like, I can't believe this. Why? I'm not supposed to be here. I got saved. My life was changed. Everything has been different. I'm not supposed to be in hell. They were so upset that they were in hell. You have to understand that that's a place that I wouldn't want my worst enemy on earth to be there. I wouldn't even want, the leader of Iran to be in hell. It's that bad. I wouldn't want him to be there. I mean, I'm just saying I wouldn't want anyone there. It's that bad. I'd want everybody saved. I mean, heaven's got lots of rooms up there and it's open but hell is horrible. So to answer your question on that, yeah, it's really bad. Hell is something that nobody should ever want to go there under any circumstance. You're not partying in hell. It's just, look, if you could imagine just having something strapped around you and you can't move. I mean, you can't do anything whatsoever. You're stuck for eternity. 100 million billion years. That's just to give you a number, if I can think of a number. 100 million billion years isn't even a second in eternity. Not even a click of a second in eternity. That's how long it is. It's horrible. So I'm watching this, and the demons are now taking me. This demon's going to take me to my final place. I didn't want to go. I just want you to know, I was crying out to God. I was screaming and crying out to God. And I'm like, no, God, no. I don't want this, God. I don't want this at all. Not at all. I just don't want to go. I don't want to. Please, God. I'm asking God, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Do something. And the thing is, it's like an iron dome. Your prayers go nowhere. Nothing. You can scream, you can cry. It doesn't go anywhere. You're done. You're toast, so to speak. Now, I didn't see fire, but it was very, very hot. I think the fire is for the lake of fire at the end times, but it was hot and hell was horrible. And this is hard. This demon's picking me up and he's going to put me in my final place. And I know that's where I'm going to be for all eternity. And a voice rang out, the deepest, strongest, most powerful voice I've ever heard in my life. And it said, you must let him go. It's not his time. I made a promise to his mother. Instantly, this demon that no matter what I did to it had no effect on it. It cowered down and it looked up and it was like,
never have it been made so clear.